it's when you put together a schedule like we always put together, once you get done with the Power Fours, you start putting together different things. This one was put together for us, so it was one we had to have. The UNC Asheville game, home and home, is something that we thought would be good. Sometimes you play those teams instead of separate years, you play them in the same year. And then Charleston Southern owed us to come back. And then we go to SIU Edwardsville, who was 19th in the country at the time, I think, correct? Because they're 25th now. And this team was 23rd in the country. So there's a poll that's out there. It's called the one bid something. So it takes the 19 or 20 conferences, however many there are, that are one bid leagues. And it separates them. Because when you have a mid-major poll, the number one team in the country every year is Gonzaga. So they're far from a mid-major. But so the one bid poll kind of gives you a little bit more clarity. And this week Lipscomb was I think 5. We were 7. I think somebody else in our league might have been up there, and maybe a couple other teams in our league. And this team, Greensboro, was 23rd. So we knew what we had coming off of finals. The one thing is, I'm not a big believer in finals. I think we'll have our 15th straight 3.15 semester or better, and 23 of our last 25. And so when I say I'm not a big believer, I'm not in academia. I'm not a big believer that the guys need a break and guys need to do this, that, or the other. We do it where we're always talking to the guys about being proactive, so that when we get to the November and we start playing games, we're on the road, we're coming back, things are done, things are already in hand, things are already kind of moving for them. And so finals to us has never been a big deal as far as coming out of that, though it is a tough game because obviously you're displaced. You got to go practice. FSCJ was kind enough to let us practice yesterday at 9:30 in the morning after the women practiced at 8. So it's interesting to come out of this from the final standpoint and come in and play, and a doubleheader. So when you play a doubleheader with the women, your timing's all whacked out when the game ends, when the game starts. And so guys have to go through routines a little bit differently, and you got to have the mental toughness to persevere through that, and I thought our guys did. I thought the way in which we played in the first half defensively was really, really, really encompassed what we've been talking about, what we're capable of, .91 DER. Really, really proud of that. The second half, we told these guys they ain't quitting. Obviously, they didn't. I think we called timeout when they cut it to 10 maybe. And then to these guys' credit, they got it back up. I think they got it up to 22 at one point, if I'm not mistaken. And I think what people don't realize is, and Brock's going to have to determine what this looks like, when we got it up to like 16, 17, 18, we hadn't made a 3 in the second half. And so, like, everybody's like, well, you live and die and you do this, that, and the other. Well, it's not true. What's true is we had 23 assists. We scored 89 points. The team that gives up 62. And so I'm really proud. Now, I want to make threes. I want to take threes. And I want these guys to knock them down, the right ones. But to our guys' credit, we got layup after layup after layup. We threw long balls to Josh and Nate and Liam. Those guys all got those long balls for layups and whatnot. And so when you share the sugar like that, good things are going to happen. And proud of our guys for coming out of this. Now we go on the road to go back to UNC Asheville, who will beat us here, and then finish out the week at Florida before Christmas break.
Very physical start to the game. How do you feel like your team responded to that?
Well, super, super well. I actually thought we took the physicality to them, quite frankly. We told them, like, this is what so in 2 Corinthians, it talks about being hunted. And when you're hunted down, the opposition's always coming after you. But when I managed McDonald's, when I was 20, I was going to own 6 of them. And I was going up the corporate ladder. Like, I was flying through all the stages because of a lot of different reasons of what I do and the way in which I do things. And I told them, McDonald's never worried about Wendy's. McDonald's never worried about Burger King. McDonald's don't worry about nobody except McDonald's. Well, that's the same thing that's true about our program. When you just take care of yourself, you are going to be hunted. Everybody wants to beat you. They're going to try to punk you. They're going to try to come and bring it on at you. And you've got to understand that. And I think these guys are starting to figure that out, that when you play for us over a decade, teams are coming because it's North Florida. And they always get, now with Chaz, of course, there's just so much national attention and all that kind of stuff. People want to come put it on these dudes' throats. And so to their credit, I thought we had the physicality to start the game.
What was the conversation like with the ref following, I almost want to call it the circus shot from Oscar?
Actually, it's a great horse shot. It's one of the best horse shots you can take. Bird made it famous when he made it over the backboard earlier. His counted, but I think anything he did counted in the NBA, so whatever. The rule is, though, if this was the glass of the backboard, right? So this is the backboard glass. If the ball bounces off the floor and goes up behind the glass and then comes back down, it's out of bounds. So anytime the ball gets up there, the ball can roll on top of the backboard and go in, as long as it doesn't hit the shot clock. So the top of the backboard is in play, the back is out. He said the ball traveled over the back of the backboard, which put it in the plane, which allowed it to be illegal. I thought it went over the corner, therefore it was on the top of it, and it never got to the glass. But you can't review it, apparently, and so that's what it was. But it's a horse shot. Yeah, I don't know about circus.
Any plans to rush Josh after the looked like an ankle?
Yeah, no, he's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he probably could have went back in if we really were at that kind of. He's just that dude, boy. He's a trip. No, I told him. I said you should have dunked it. Then you could have hung on the rim when the guy was underneath you. You wouldn't have got hurt. So he's like, but he knows he dunks a lot. He's probably what 50-50 when he misses, or 75-25.
Like 65.
So 65-35. All right, and he has to do some things when he misses a dunk in practice. He's like, Coach, how's it? Because I always tell him Banks. That's why he's shooting a great percentage, because he says he's learned to use the glass and Banks swish. So, but I told him you'd hung on the rim. Referees could have, because it'd have been underneath him.
Yeah, you had an incredible start to this game. Was it something you identified early in the scouting process? What led to you having that start?
I wouldn't say anything that particularly they did. I think it's just being ready to shoot, taking what the defense gives you. If they're going to close out short, which a lot of teams do, you have to make them pay for it. So I think we moved the ball well and just played the system well, and it just took the shots that were given to me.
I think, too, the ASO, right, after score offense, right, I thought because we were getting so many stops, I thought the flow was really good, and I thought these guys kept on playing within the flow. I think we had 2 turnovers at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. And so, right, is that right? Yeah, 2. Yeah, so I thought these guys really flowed well. And I think when you're flowing, when you're this kind of guy, these kind of guys, when they're flowing, it's really, really pretty to watch. And again, we had 5 guys in double digits again. We got to get Cameron going. We got to get Cameron going again. He's lost all his confidence. And I'm not going to stop coaching him by any stretch of the imagination, but we've got to get him going again. But we had 5 guys again in double digits. So it's pretty good to score 89 and only make 12 threes.
Jaylen, congrats on the career high. Seeing the team come after you when you were doing your ESPN interview, what was that like for you, like to have the team just come around you like that?
Nah, that was a great feeling. It was very unexpected. On the first thing I asked him, because the Thunder does that. I was like, y'all got that from the Thunder? He's like, yeah. So that, it's funny, when I watched the Thunder club, I was like, dang, I wish we can do that. And then they did it, so that's the first thing I thought of.
Spoke it to existence.
Yeah, it spoke it to existence. Like, it was very amazing, bro. I love our team. It's amazing.
I think the thing about him that people it's been overshadowed is how many assists. I mean, he had 10 the other night. He's got 9 again tonight. And I know he's different, and this is what I got to learn to be better for him. I got to learn to coach him better, because he's not – Yvonne wasn't Dallas, right? Jose wasn't Yvonne. Jaylen's not Dallas, Yvonne, or Jose. He's his own person. And I got to continue to do a better job coaching him through that, because he's really special. And he knows the players so well. He throws what we call blind squirrels, not the whiskey. He throws blind squirrels all the time. And when you do that, guys got to be ready. And then next thing you know, they're just getting threes because they're in the right place. So I don't think he gets enough credit for the assists that he distributes.
I think it's the system, man. Coach has a great system, and we just buy in the whole team. So that just allows me to look good. So it's the team, not me. Just thank the team.
You do look good.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, your hair looks great.
2 more for you, Coach. Following the loss to UNC Asheville here, you said, I hope this leaves a bad taste in this team's mouth. Do you feel like that taste is still there?
First of all, it's impressive that you asked that question. So good memory for you. Yes. Now we got a league game. It's a return game. So like in the league, you play home and home. So it's a return game in the league. It's the next game. And then obviously once we come back from Christmas, it's on. Austin P on the 2nd, right, at 2 o'clock. And so, yes, I think this team definitely understands that. But, like, they don't care. And they're like that, and that kind of goes in with what I said today, right? We've got to be worried about us. We've got to do what we do and be who we are, because when we are, we're really special. And I'm not going to back off that. This group is special. And we need Cameron. We need Cameron to come around. We need Dimitri to come around, right? Dimitri's just going through some ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's clicking, sometimes it's not. We need Dimitri too. So we need those two guys to start coming along, because we're a team. We're a team. And that's important to me in this next game, which is Asheville.
Through 11 games now, how do you think the team's performed through the first 11?
I think these guys are really special. I mean, I think I've told this to Nick and since we got through the summer. I just think this team's really special. However, if we don't ASO, then we're gonna be really, really, really disappointed. Because if you ASO and you do that the way we're 1.4 points per possession, we'd like to be 1-2, 1-3. We're 1-4 in the first half. When you after score offense, the way we're capable of, like we're so dangerous to play against. So dangerous to play against. And so hopefully we can continue to build upon that and help these guys, help everybody understand that. But I'm not going to back off it. We got to get, they outscored us in the second half, and I ain't doing that. Like, these dudes are really good. I just pray daily that they embrace it and really be disciplined, committed to the consistency. Because it could be really, really special. You think the first week, when we were the only team in America to win 2 Power 4 games on the road, you think that was special? Huh. Yeah, and that's without the Grinch's song.
Thank you, Coach.
Let's get some dessert. Your birthday.